persecuting people who just happened to be there. Many of them didn't even go in. I am their #1 target, but I am proud to be fighting for you, and I'm going to be fighting for you for a long time. So let's talk about, I never thought I'd have to say this, frankly, but let's talk about the persecution of Donald Trump and the Republican Party. Let's talk about it. On January 6, 2021, I made a speech entitled Peacefully and Patriotically. 3 days before realizing there were going to be perhaps 1 million people. People never talk about how many people were there. It's one of the largest crowds I've ever spoken before. Nobody ever talks about it. Pictures of the crowds have disappeared unless they give you pictures from 5 o'clock in the morning. 1 million people at the potentially historic speech, which it turned out to be a historic speech, and I recommended and authorized to numerous people, including the Secretary of Defense and others, 10,000 to 20,000 troops to ensure peace, safety, and protection. That recommendation was turned down by crazy Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington, D.C. They said they didn't like the look of it, but that means there was no insurrection, because somebody creating an insurrection doesn't recommend from 10 to 20,000 troops to keep everybody safe. But you won't hear about that from the fake news media right back there. There's a lot of them. You won't hear about it. I never read about it. I keep saying we authorized from 10 to 20,000, and it's in the Obama, from previous, the Obama Inspector General's report. And they turned it down, and they don't want to talk about it. The Unselect Committee doesn't want to talk about it. It's a complete scam. The Unselect Committee is a complete and total scam. The witch hunt is run by 2 rhinos who have been thrown out of the Republican Party, Liz Cheney and crying Adam Kinzinger. In fact, Liz Cheney lost her election in the great state of Wyoming. We love Wyoming. We love Wyoming. But she lost her election by 40 points, a record loss for a sitting member of Congress. In other words, no congressperson has ever lost by that. And you know who was second? A guy named Rice from South Carolina, 26 points, but she obliterated. You know what he was? He was an impeacher, and she was an impeacher, and Kinzinger was an impeacher, and I guess 9 of them are gone. The only one... The only one that made it, but we'll get him next time. He had 7 only Trumpers running against him. So he had 7 people, only Trump. We call them only Trumpers. They don't accept anybody else. But we had 7 only Trump against one guy. He got like 17%. But we say, we'll get him next time. But we have no representation on the committee, no right to have lawyers present, no opportunity to cross-examine witnesses, and we have no due process whatsoever. It's a runaway freight train that, frankly, the people of our country aren't even watching. The ratings are down the tubes. Nobody cares at this point. Many witnesses are lying, writing books, and embarrassing Congress and demeaning our country. People who were in or left the administration said great things, and I want to write a great book about the president. Oh, we love our president. He's so great. We love our president. But we're told by the biased, horrible publishers throughout the country, there aren't too many of them left, actually, that if you don't say something bad about President Trump, we will never publish your book. But we'll pay you a lot of money if you're willing to say something bad. And some of them gave into the dark side and wrote lies and fabricated stories. All sorts of stories. I had a story the other day that I wanted to fire my daughter Ivanka. That didn't happen. No, but how do you call your daughter and explain this, right? You know, they read this disgusting talk. That was a writer from the fake New York Times, the failing New York Times, a lot of unfunded liability. I was a really bad reporter, thinks that she's my biographer, even though she knows me a lot less than some of the people standing right on that platform right back there. Some of whom are okay, like about 10%.